Chapter 7 of Wildflowers of the Farm by Arthur O. Cooke. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Maida Savares. Chapter 7. In the Hayfield. Here we are in the hayfield at the end of June. It is not really the hayfield yet, but it will be so as soon as the grass is cut for hay. This will be done in a few days, so we must lose no time if we wish to look at some of the flowers before they are cut down. We must not stroll all over this field as we did in Ashmead, for the long grass should not be trampled down, or it will be difficult for the machine to cut. Quite near the gate, however, are plenty of flowers, and we shall find others if we step carefully along the side of the hedge. We will look first at those flowers which are most important to the farmer, the flowers of the grass. We saw, you remember, that the grass has flowers just as the rose and the wallflower have. If you had thought that the flowers of all grass would be alike, you see now that you are quite mistaken. There are many different grass flowers here. Not only are the flowers different, but so are the stems, and also the leaves or blades. Mr. Hammond could come into the field in early spring or autumn, when the grass is not in flower, and could tell you to which kind of grass any blade belonged. Today, we shall easily distinguish the different kinds of grasses by their flowers, though we will also notice differences in their stems and leaves. Let us pick a stem or a column of grass. We see that the greater part of it is hollow, but at intervals there are joints, and here the stem is solid. From each joint grows a leaf sheath which is wrapped round the stem for a little distance above the joint. Out of each sheath grows a leaf. All grass leaves are long and narrow compared with those of most other plants, but some grass leaves are longer and narrower than others. Now for a flower, the stem which we have picked is the stem of perennial ryegrass. The blossom we see consists of several small spikelets. There are 18 on our stem. They grow alternately on two opposite sides of the stem, first one on one side, then one on the other. They have no stalk of their own. They are sessile or seated on the stem, as the spikelets are flat and grow on two sides of the stem only. Each stem looks as if it had been pressed in a book, as perhaps you have sometimes pressed flowers. The leaves are dark green, glossy, and shining. On the underside of each leaf is a prominent rib which extends the whole length. This rib is one of the signs by which Mr. Hammond can tell a blade of ryegrass at once without seeing the flower. This is one of the farmer's most useful grasses. It forms a close thick carpet or sward, and the more it is trodden on by animals grazing, the better it seems to thrive. Here is another excellent grass with a flower quite different in appearance from the last. It is called Timothy grass. It was first cultivated in America by a man named Timothy Hanson, and it is now always known by his Christian name. Mr. Hammond knows this, and now you know it too. But a good many farmers who have plenty of Timothy grass in their fields do not know the reason of its name. The spikelets of Timothy are small and grow in dense clusters at the end of the stem, so that the blossom forms a kind of tail. Indeed, Timothy is sometimes called meadow cat's tail, a name which gives a very good idea of its appearance. This cluster or tail of spikelets is green and also rather rough to the touch. Notice these 2 points about it. We shall see the reason presently. The green leaves have a grayish tint and are broader than many grass leaves. When cut and made into hay, the leaves are rather stiff and hard. Timothy grows in good thick clumps but does not make a very spreading sward. Moist weather suits it best, though it can stand a dry summer fairly well. It is a late grass. Other grasses in the field are in full flower today, but there are only a few ears of timothy to be seen. Its flowering time is July. In one way it is a valuable grass for hay. It is heavy, and hay is always sold by weight. On the other hand, timothy hay is rather hard. Now here is a grass something like timothy, yet different in several ways. It is meadow foxtail. The ear formed by the cluster of spikelets is of the same shape as an ear of timothy, like a round tail slightly pointed, but the ear of timothy was green, while this is a beautiful silvery gray. Timothy was rough. The ear of meadow foxtail is very soft and silky to the touch. The silkiness and the silvery gray color are given to the ear by a soft hair called on, which grows from each spikelet. The leaves are broad and juicy, and there are many of them. Meadow foxtail, unlike timothy, is an early grass. You may find it in flower in April. An early grass is always valuable to the farmer who wants herbage for his sheep and cattle after the long winter. The foxtail, moreover, is a spreading grass. Some of its stems are prostrate. They do not stand upright, but creep along the ground. From these prostrate stems, fresh roots grow and produce fresh plants. Thus, meadow foxtail makes a good sward. Another useful grass is cocksfoot. Each culm has 4 or 5 thick clusters of spikelets growing on small stalks of their own. The clusters grow from the culm in a way which reminds us of the claw of a fowl. That is the reason of the name. Cocksfoot is a tall and quick-growing plant, and both the stem and flower feel rough and hard. The blue-green leaves are very juicy. The root goes deep into the soil, so that this grass resists drought well. We must notice the sweet vernal grass, though there is not much of it in the field, for this grass, when it is dry, gives out much of the sweet scent we smell in or near a hayfield. If we chew a stalk, we notice the scent ourselves, and animals like the pleasant flavor which it gives to hay. Though it is an early grass, it also lasts till late in the autumn. The spikelets make a cluster or tail at the end of the stalk, but they do not grow so closely together as those of the timothy and meadow foxtail. Look at this tufted hair grass. It is very pretty, perhaps one of the prettiest grasses we have seen, but the farmer looks upon it as a weed. It has a large and spreading head of flower. The spikelets grow in stems and become gradually smaller towards the top of the stalk. The flower is purple with a shining silvery light upon it. It grows in thick clumps or tussocks, and cattle do not care about the leaves. End of chapter 7.